to episode 6 of UPO TV. This time I'm joined by Mr. Raymond Aaron, all the way from Toronto, Canada.
Yes.
Raymond, welcome.
Thank you. I love being here. Thank you.
Enjoying your time in Dubai?
Oh, it's amazing. What a unique, strange, impossible, crazy place this is.
Well, it's a real pleasure having you on the show. You have 26 years experience now doing what you do. You are the best-selling author of Double Your Income, Doing What You Love.
That's true.
That's a great title for a book. And I understand that you're the #1 mentor within this field. Could you tell us about your journey of running your businesses and how you're now integrating this with the online world?
Mm-hmm. Well, I graduated from university as a mathematician and a physicist. And I spent 17 years wandering around in the desert trying to find out what I should do. I love math and I love physics, and I did very well in school in those subjects, and so I thought that's what I should study. But then after graduation, I didn't really enjoy working in those fields, and for 17 years I kept working in the field because I did well in high school and I did well in university in those fields, and so I thought therefore that I should do it. But one day, 17 years after graduation, I was in a Mayan ruin. It's called Chichen Itza. It's a pyramid. You know the pyramid?
Yeah, absolutely,
It's in the Yucatan Peninsula of Mexico. I was sitting on top of this pyramid, and I got a message that I was a teacher. And I didn't like the message because I thought teacher meant high school teacher. And high school teachers work hard and they're very dedicated, but I had this vision that I was going to earn a lot of money. And high school teaching didn't seem to be able to provide that. So I didn't know what to do. I didn't like that I got this message, but I decided not to argue with God, and so I tried to be a teacher. And one day, somebody said to me, "Gee, I really like your ideas. When's your next course?" I said, "My next course?" Like, I thought I was supposed to be a high school teacher. I had no idea what he meant. And I said, "Oh, it's next Thursday." And he registered for my course, and so did a few other people, and I gave my very first course, and someone in the course said, "When's your next course?" And I thought I'd used up the entire world marketplace teaching that half dozen people. I didn't know anything. Yeah. And now my courses have grown to the many hundreds, even thousands. Mm-hmm. I've taught all over the world. And for the last 26 years, I've been teaching people just like you how to double your income doing what you love. What does it have to do with math and physics? Nothing at all, but that's a really important point, because you might be doing something that you're trained for. You might be doing something that your mommy or daddy wanted you to learn in school. You may be doing something that you thought you liked doing, but you may not any longer like it. In this day and age, people typically have more than one career. Totally different. I don't mean a different employer within the same industry. I mean totally different careers and totally different industries. And yet people seem to be constrained by their marriage, their children, by the mortgage, by the car payments. They figure, "Oh my gosh, I have all this overhead, I better stay where I am." And that's horrible because they're losing their entire life. It's just such a terrible waste of the joy that could occur when you're doing only what you love. And so I started teaching people how to identify what they love. I was shocked. A few people have a sense of what they love, but nobody has a list of what they love. Nobody has a really uncensored list of what they love. Some people have a list of their social obligations, but they don't have a list of their loves. And so when they make decisions, let's say you have 2 jobs offered to you. You're unemployed and you get 2 job offers. Well, people typically say, "Well, this one makes me more money," or "This one's closer to my home, so I'll take one or the other." But they never say, "Let's look at my list of loves. What would I be doing in each of these 2 jobs relative to what I love doing?"
When you say loves, are you talking career or also outside of career, as in activities and other things that they love?
Everything that you love. Okay. There is no such thing in your psyche, Reg, as this is what I love in business and this is what I love at home. You have loves inside of you. It's just the...
Can you give us some examples of what those would be for someone?
I'll tell you what mine are.
With, yeah.
I'll tell you mine.
Okay, great. Yeah.
My loves, and these are the only things that I do. I love creating educational material. So I use those in my monthly mentor program to teach people around the world to achieve their goals. I teach, and that's what I'm doing now. And I encourage people and uplift people to do their best, which is hopefully what I'm doing now. So that's what I do. That's what I love. I love my daughters. I love riding a unicycle. I ride a 5-foot-tall giraffe unicycle. There's certain things that I love. I love travel.
How often do you ride the unicycle?
How regularly?
Yeah.
Well, it's the stupidest means of transportation because you can't go any faster than a person can walk slowly. There's no cargo carrying capacity, so you can't take it grocery shopping. And it's very difficult to go on the level, and it's very difficult to go uphill, and it's very difficult to go downhill. So it's a really useless means of transportation, but I completely love it.
What made you do that then? What made you learn how to ride one of these?
I love following my loves. I remember I was at university and I saw two people going by on their unicycles and I screamed at them. I said, let me try that. I'd only seen it in a circus. And so they let me try it. Of course, I fell flat in my face. It's like trying to sit on a broom. There's nothing holding you up. And they said that they were part of the university unicycle team. I said, you are? How many people are in it? And they said, 2. We're the only 2. And I said, I'm going to ride a unicycle. And I didn't for 30 years, from age 18 to age 48. And finally, at age 48, I told my executive assistant, book me a unicycle lesson. And she found someone teaching unicycling, and I learned how to ride it. And so I love unicycling.
You know what's interesting? Now I know 2 people who can ride a unicycle. You and another gentleman here in Dubai who I only met a few months ago. There you go, 2 of you. But there's something else about your loves. There's something else that you did recently, I understand, which was one of the longest runs that a man could do. Could you tell us about that?
I love achieving goals. And one day my fitness coach said, sign up for the toughest race in the world. And I was shocked that she would say that to me. But I went home and I went to the ultimate source, which is, of course, Google, and I typed in toughest race in the world, and unfortunately one came up. And even more unfortunately, I clicked on it. It was called Polar Race, billed as probably the world's toughest race. It's a 350-mile foot race to the North Pole. The race takes an entire month, and because it leaves from the northernmost human settlement on Earth, Resolute Bay in Canada, there's nothing north of that. And so if the racers want something like food and tent, they have to carry it with them. And all that weighs 100 pounds, too heavy to carry, and so you need to haul it in a sled behind you. And the worst danger is polar bears. The route is, of course, exactly south to north. It's like due north, and it crosses a polar bear migration pattern. And so we saw hundreds of polar bear tracks, and we were actually attacked by a polar bear, but everything was fine. Wow. So that was the toughest thing I've ever done. I lost the feeling in my fingers right down to the palm of my hand on the day that it hit minus 68 degrees. I was frostbitten all over my face. My eyeballs got sunburned. I was sunburned on the roof of my mouth and on the inside of my nose because the sun bounces off the snow and goes up. And there's nothing you can do. You can't put suntan cream, sunblock, on the inside of your nose or in your mouth. And so and one time my left ear by mistake was exposed, which you're not allowed to have any part of your skin showing. And the wind was from the west, which when you're going north means from the left. And so my left ear got sunburned and frostbitten. So it had a heat injury and a cold injury.
It's still there, I noticed. It's
still there, but boy, was it swollen that day. So that's one of the crazy things I did. But the important thing is not how crazy it is. The important thing is, at age 62, I was able to do that which almost no one on earth has ever done. It's interesting, Reg, that 160 people have actually crossed the Atlantic Ocean in a rowboat. 400 people have been to outer space. 2,000 climbers have conquered Everest. 5,000 runners have broken the 4-minute mile. But in all of human history, only several dozen people have ever been to the North Pole by their own efforts, and I'm one of them.
That's incredible.
And I did it at age 62.
I'll shake your hand for that achievement. That is very significant. On that note, we're just going to see Raymond in action, and we'll be back in a few seconds, seeing him live at the Unlimited Power Online Conference here in Dubai.